Yes guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the beach. It's lunchtime and the weather's amazing, so I've gone down to the beach and I thought I'd give you something different to look at in the southeast of the UK on this nice hot summer's day. It's about 20 centigrade, which for my American friends I think that equates to about 68, 70 Fahrenheit, so it's a pleasant day. There's a bit of a breeze, but yeah, it's gorgeous. In the distance over there, or over there rather, 5 miles in the distance, you probably can't pick it up on the camera, but there's like this series of wind turbines, and apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently it powers the whole county. So it just shows like how powerful or how useful wind turbines can be. And we live on an island, so we should be using more of these. There's not enough of them. Anyway, I know a lot of you guys sort of follow me for my hair system content, and I will be talking about hair systems in this video, but the main topic is just to sort of give you guys a bit more of an insight into my life and the fact that I'm getting married pretty soon, which is super exciting. And I'm also going on my stag do. I've got 2 of them. My liver, how's it going to survive? I don't know, but it'll be fun. So yeah, I'm doing 2 of those, and wedding in October. And in the context of hair systems, I wanted to talk to you about sort of going away for a couple of days, which is what I'm going to be doing for at least one of the stags. For anyone who doesn't know what a stag is, obviously if you're from the UK you'll know what that is, but for my American friends I think they're called bachelor parties or bachelor do's. And I've got a couple of Aussies on here as well who follow my content, and I think it's called a bucks party. So yeah, it's interesting. Since I've set up this YouTube channel, I've become rather more learned in other cultures because I just speak to so many people from different parts of the world, and I sort of learn about sort of little different things, little nuances unique to that particular culture, and I really enjoy it. What do you call it in your country, out of interest? If you're not from any of those 3 countries, what do you call a stag do? Which is a man's last night of freedom, shall we say, or last couple of nights of freedom. So yeah, hair systems and managing it when you go away. This is applicable for holidays, any time that you're away from home. So basically, the plan for me is going to be difficult because, you know, this ain't going to be easy. I'm going to be staying in an Airbnb with my chums, so it's not like I'm going to get a massive amount of privacy. So sometimes you have to work around those things. You've got to be a little bit clever. Given that it's 2 nights, it shouldn't be a problem. But whenever I do go away for a couple of days or whatever, I always make sure that I do a clean and rebond the day before I go. The day before I go, at least 24 hours, because that means that you're going to have a fresh bond. It should hold well, and it's been given 24 hours to cure. Okay, so it's not likely to come loose. Right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you do want to be taking a few things with you, but not too much, especially when you're going abroad, because there's limits on what liquids you can take and that kind of thing. So personally, I'm planning on taking a little sort of bottle, about that big. I think you can take 100 ml on a flight in the UK. I think that's actually a global thing. I think that's a global rule now. So I'm going to pour a bit of that. You can get them from, you know, local supermarkets, these little bottles. Pardon me. These little bottles which you can decant various things into, be that moisturisers or shampoos or whatever. You guys know what I'm chatting about. If you've been abroad, you know what I'm chatting about. So I'm going to decant some C22 into that. Hopefully I won't need to use it. And I will just take my little bottle of Ghost Bond. Again, I don't think I'd need to use it, but it's a very good idea to take these things because you don't know what's going to happen. You genuinely have no idea what's going to happen. One thing I do feel quite confident about, though, is obviously there's this misconception around hair systems that they're not very well fastened and they can come loose when the wind blows and all of that nonsense. That is indeed nonsense. I guarantee you that's nonsense. I've been wearing long enough to be able to give you accurate information on that. So I'm certainly not worried about that. I suppose the one fear I have, and it's not even really a fear, is if someone like one of my friends just like pulls really hard on my head, like just gets drunk, or we get in like a little play fight or something. It's super unlikely to happen. We're in our 30s, we're adults, we're all adults here. It's something we used to do when we were teenagers, but you just never know. So you do have to sort of be a bit on your guard and sort of prepare for all eventualities. I'm definitely not going to bother with anything else though. I'm not going to bother taking Scout Protector, don't need it. I would take it if it was like I'll talk about longer holidays in a bit, but I definitely wouldn't take a Scout Protector for this. I wouldn't take isopropyl alcohol for this, it's pointless. So it would literally just be glue, it would literally just be a little bit of C22, and lastly some cotton wool balls. Okay, so I'm not in any way planning on doing a full rebond or anything like that. It's completely unnecessary. However, there may be, I notice, a lift or something like that. It's unlikely, but you never know. So that is what the plan is. The plan is to just take as minimal, the smallest amount possible of basically hair system accessories, because that's the only thing I imagine that might need doing up, is literally just a small lift. Even with that, I could probably hide it by just putting the hair down. It's only 2 days. Now let's talk about proper holidays, okay? Because I know that, or we all do, we all go on holidays every now and then. This is where I would be a little less risk averse, or a little more risk averse actually, sorry, not less. But yeah, I would literally be taking pretty much, I wouldn't bother with the isopropyl alcohol. You can get that anywhere in the world. That's not really a problem, and you don't really need it. The C22, in my opinion, is more important than the isopropyl alcohol. But I definitely would decant stuff like Scout Protector, stuff like glue or tape, or both. And yeah, as I said, C22 and some cotton wool balls, because when you're on a longer holiday, especially if you're going to a hot country like, you know, Southern Europe, the Caribbean, Florida, California, Australia, whatever, you will sweat. And when you sweat, over time it loosens the bond. You will probably swim. When you swim, it slowly but surely loosens the bond. So there's a lot more considerations that need to go into this basically. And that's why I would encourage you to take many, many more accessories. So like Scout Protector, C22, glue, and cotton wool balls. What else? Tape. If you're wearing tape, definitely wear tape. Definitely take tape. As I said, don't bother about the C20, the alcohol, because that probably isn't that necessary. And also, I wouldn't recommend, if you wear a hair system, I really would not recommend staying in a hostel, because it's kind of hard to be changing your system when you're sharing with like 20 people. It's really hard to get that time, that private time to yourself. I'd always recommend staying in a hotel where you have your own private bathroom. It's so worth it, and you just get that privacy to yourself. Don't get me wrong, I loved a hostel back in the day. Like when I was younger and I was travelling, about 15 years ago, and travelling, and I just stayed in hostel after hostel, and it was great, but I didn't need a hair system then, and I didn't really need my privacy then. I could just sort of go about my day. I was happy to share a room with multiple people. It's actually quite a good way to like meet new people. So yeah, but you know, I'm in my 30s now, getting married. So yeah, privacy is definitely more important to me now. I can hear a plane. There's quite a lot of gliders that come up sort of this way. You get some like super old school World War II planes as well that fly over. There must be like a landing strip here or something. It's lovely. So nice, like peaceful day like this. Oh, someone's going to be doing some paragliding by the looks of it. It's nice, it's really nice having this like not far away. It's just so relaxing. I do recommend, you know, part of me actually, you know, wants to just get in the sea. That would be lovely, although I'm not sure it's quite hot enough. Also, for my American friends and anyone else outside of the UK who might be interested, if you go into the sea and you travel 30 miles that way, guess where you end up? France. So that is the entry point to Europe. 30 miles, it's not that far really. I learned something really interesting actually about the English Channel, that the English Channel like 10,000 years ago, this is the English Channel by the way, the name of this sort of strip of sea, as it were, which sort of leads to the North Sea that way, Atlantic Ocean that way. But something I learned about the English Channel was it didn't even exist 10,000 years ago. We had an ice age like 10,000 years ago. I know, guys, you're here for hair system content and I'm giving you something completely different, but you know, heck, you might learn something. But yeah, this was caused by the last ice age, this whole strip of like sea, which is like 30 miles wide. Britain and France used to be connected by land, not anymore. So guys, how do you plan for some time away? Do you always take your accessories with you? Are you brave enough to leave them at home? That's a good question, isn't it? Have you ever been brave enough to just leave everything and be like, you know what? I trust the bond. I trust that there's not going to be any lifts. I trust that my system is well fastened to my head. Have you ever done that? I did it once. I think it was okay. From memory, I think it was okay. I remember doing it and not having a problem, but I was only away for one night. I usually do take stuff with me like glue and C22, especially if it's longer than one night. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the content. Keep supporting it. It'll help those YouTube algorithms. That's a really hard word to say for some reason. YouTube algorithms. It will help the content basically come up higher. I just got a 10% warning signal on my battery. It will help my content basically appear higher in YouTube and help more people watch this free content. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.